tough luck there for the 9 of Jesse Janich. We were hoping to get ready to see him battle it out, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to, as they're set. And the green flag is waving. We are off and rolling. And whoa, some drama at the back of the pack there.
It looks like somebody had a bad start and almost got rear-ended there. Looks like that might have been Tony Salima, but it looks like Ruben Zaus making short work of turn 1 there.
Now, we saw this yesterday. Guerin was close coming out of turn 2. Let's see if they've got things figured out. It'd be great to see him get up in the mix and try to do some battle with the Spaniard of Zaus.
Yeah, it looks like, at this point, so far, so good for the Canadian team and Sam Guerin on that OG Moto Fremont Harley-Davidson Road Glide. Cody Gilmore in tow with Arnie Wells right on his back tire there. Arnie looking to make some big improvements. I know talking to him, he was not happy with his lap times yesterday. He's really looking to step it up today.
Any idea whether Arnie's was it a personal thing? Was it bikes? Any idea? Obviously, they're kind of one and the same. You got to be feeling comfortable on the machine as well, but from the naked eye from somebody like me, it's hard to tell what exactly is going on.
Yeah, I think, from talking to Arnie, it was a little bit, he just wasn't comfortable on the bike. They put a new electronic package on the bike, and the bike just had a weird throttle, sensitivity, and he just had a hard time kind of getting used to how the throttle rolled into the power, and he's been searching for that, comfort and confidence all weekend, and we'll see if he finds it in this race.
Well, it looks like Sam Guerin, at the moment at least, has gotten things figured out, and he is holding strong on the back of Ruben Zaus, trying to maybe pick up on some things, see exactly where Ruben's a little quicker. Obviously, Ruben has kind of been the guy to beat so far here in this Andrew Performance Product Bagger GP class.
But yeah, this is an impressive ride already so far. I know we're only 1 lap in, but Sam is hanging right onto the back tire of Ruben Zaus, and Ruben has been running some impressive lap times all weekend long. So, Sam can stay on the back tire and learn a little bit, maybe be there at the end of the race, make something happen.
Well, and you can see the comfort that Zaus has on the machine. Obviously, many years of racing, and you can see coming into some of those corners. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, kicking that leg off. You said not only does it maybe provide a little bit of extra wind drag, help with stopping the machine as well, but also a little bit of a counterbalance.
Counterbalance too, and if it's kind of a shallow corner, not really deep, and they're not really, you see that corner there. Ruben puts his knee out there and uses that knee puck to kind of feel the ground. It gives him a good sense of where the motorcycle's at in the lean angle. But if it's a shallower corner, he might touch his toe on the ground, kind of just still getting a feel for how far the bike's leaned over. And it's really about repeatability out here, just doing the same thing, finding the fastest way, and then doing that every time.
And there you go, just as you said, a little bit of a toe drag there, headed into, I believe that is turn 10, 9 and 10, one of those double apexes as they head into turn 11. And it looks like Ruben's starting to open things up just ever so slightly over Sam Guerin.
Yeah, and watching Ruben, we talk about turn 11 is one you got to be patient on. And turn 13, Ruben just seems to know how to get around those corners. It doesn't matter if he goes in early or late. He just can lay that bike over. He's got so much trust in the tires and the suspension. He can just lean that bike over and have the confidence to just drive through it.
Well, and just from the outside looking in, Ruben seems to manhandle, if you will, that machine. It just seems like he's able to put it exactly where he wants it. Obviously, he's setting things up very well, but it seems like when he leans, it's just a little more aggressive, and that's slowly but surely getting him a 10th here, 10th there.
Yeah, and I think it's, a lot of that is that World Superbike pedigree that he has, right? And Ruben's always been a rider known for, being very active on the motorcycle, meaning that his body is off the side of the bike. He's not afraid to hang out there, hang the body off the side, try and keep the bike as upright as possible, use his body weight as a counterweight so that he can stay in the center of the rubber where all the traction's at, and get an earlier drive out of the corner.
Nonetheless, just like you said, got to give props where it's due. Sam Guerin doing a great job so far of hanging close. He's still got him in sight. And one mistake from Zaus, and he's right back in the mix.
Yeah, like we talked at the top of the show, Sam was one of those teams, the OG Moto teams. They had a few mechanical issues yesterday, and that team's a strong team. They got a really good team, and they worked all night. They figured out the gremlin. It looks like it's paying off so far today.
They're doing a great job as we watch Zaus make his way through turns 11 and 12.
I see on the top of the screen here, in 5th place is Jesse Janis. That was the motorcycle that they pushed off the grid at the start of the race. They must have gotten that thing fired up, and he is charging up through the field. Very impressive to be up to 5th place from being dead last off the start.
Yeah, we'll have to try to see if we can get a camera on Janich there and see exactly what's going on, because like I said, had seen him pushed off to the side and thought he was all but done, not even going to make it out there. So glad to see him out on track. And still looks like the battle is Cody Gilmore and Arnie Wells for the top of that Pirelli Pro Stock bagger class, with Gilmore out front at the moment.
It doesn't show it on screen, but on timing and scoring here, I see Jake Masters running in 6th place. So the way that works is they invite the top 3 finishers from the Super Street class at the top of the race to line up at the back of the grid for this class. And Jake Masters Podium and winning that class, he's running in 6th place here against these bagger GP and Pro Stock bagger riders. So that's a giant, vote of confidence for Jake to be running, in 6th place out here with some guys that are very experienced.
Yeah, an absolute statement there from the Australian, trying to show that not only am I the guy to beat in Super Street, but I can get in the mix here with the big boys as well of that Andrews Bagger GP and Pirelli Pro Stock bagger class. And I think for somebody who's already got to be at an all-time high with confidence to get and match pace with some of these top riders like that, that's only going to continue to build a strong program around Masters.
Yeah, for sure. As we still follow Sam Guerin around here, running in 2nd place, still trying to stay in touch with Ruben. Ruben's doing a great job. I've seen 0 mistakes from Ruben. He is just clicking off lap after lap. You see his team's got that pit board out there giving him information about lap times, differentials on how far out in front he is over 2nd place. And Ruben just, he's a true professional. He was out there last night. I had a conversation with him. They're out there working on the bike. He's on the ground talking about this and that. And he's very involved with the team, and it shows in his results.
So taking a look now, it's Cody Gilmore still checking in, leading the way for the Pirelli Pro Stock class, running a 1:33 on that last lap. So an absolute burner from Cody Gilmore.
That's an impressive lap time in the Pro Stock class. Cody Gilmore, hats off. That's a blistering lap time. And Arnie's also found some time. He's running a 1:36 today, and I think his best yesterday was a 1:38. So he's found a little bit more time. It must mean he's getting a little bit more comfortable on that motorcycle. He's running 2nd place in the Pro Stock bagger class right now, and 4th overall. And that's a very good finish for Arnie.
Absolutely, and you got to think big picture with these guys as well. I'm sure they're doing the entire BRL Racing Series, and so I believe it was you that said it yesterday. You can't win the title at round 1, but you can certainly throw it away. And so for somebody like an Arnie Wells that we know extremely accomplished, extremely capable of bringing home not only wins but the championship as well, hey, let's focus on what we can. Let's get some solid performances, get some solid data to put as far as building the bike better for round 2 or round 3 and 4. And let's just get out of here in one piece.
For sure. And it gets really hard. You get in that mindset of, the bike's not working, or if you're not comfortable, and you go out there and you really try and, push the limits and ride beyond your capabilities, and you end up just throwing it all away. So it really takes some experience to know when to just accept that a 3rd or a 4th might be the best you're going to get this weekend, and just learn what you can and move on to the next round.
And you can see just how hard Ruben Zaus is pushing that machine as he headed into turn 1. Got a little bit of the speed shake as he was hard on the brakes. Had that leg off the machine. But for somebody that looks smooth like butter, he is still pushing this to the absolute limit out there each and every lap.
So there's a glimpse of Jesse Janis there. So I got to give a hats off to the Suburban Motors team. Their whole crew, mechanics, and everybody, even Joe, the owner of the team, has been down there working on this bike tirelessly for the past 2 days. They were looking for parts that were supposed to be overnighted. They were chasing down delivery trucks. I mean, they were doing everything they can to get this bike out on track. So I'm really glad to see Jesse getting in some decent laps here, running around now in 4th place. So looks like he's actually running a decent pace. This is the first time that motorcycle's been on track all weekend.
Yeah, Jesse, last time he came across the line running a 1:34, and like we say, oftentimes it's overlooked. It's one rider on the motorcycle, but it is an entire team and almost a family, if you will, behind these riders. It takes a village to be able to get these performance bikes out on track and running at the top capabilities.
And I think in the Suburban Motors team, it is both that. It is family and team. I mean, Joe, the owner, his wife is down there. He's got, some of his children down there. He's got the mechanics that work at the dealership down there. And, they're true professionals, but they're a family at the same time. They're all out there eating dinner in the pits together, and it pays off, and I'm glad to see them get this motorcycle, take a little bit of victory away from the weekend.
Absolutely, and you got to think that helps somebody like Jesse as well. He knows those guys are putting everything they've got into it. They want to be on the top step just as much as he does. And clearly it shows. As you saw, Jesse, he had a lot of composure on the line, even when it looked like things weren't going to work out. Stayed cool, calm, and collected. If he threw a tantrum and walked off, hey, you're not going to be able to get back out there. So kept it cool. He's back out on track and having a great ride.
Yeah, it's all about positive vibes, and that team does a really great job of that. So hats off to them. Ruben still just clicking off those laps. Sam trying to stay in tow, but Ruben has just been on point all weekend, and there's Jesse Janis again. I do believe he's sitting in third position for the Bagger GP class, so they will be able to take home some hardware, and it'll be a hard-fought battle and a well-deserved third place in that Bagger GP class if he can finish there.
Absolutely. It's everybody wants to be on the top step, but after a day like today, they are going to be celebrating that podium finish for sure, and just be able to get out there and compete.
For sure. Sometimes it isn't about the position, but how hard you had to fight to get there.
As we see them making their way through turn 7. And these guys kind of the cream of the crop, the top level, if you will. And so we don't quite see some of those mistakes that we see in some of the other classes. Not really seeing a lot of people standing up or anything like that. And it just makes the racing that much closer because this is the top level of the sport. These guys have, like we said, got the best teams around them, got the best parts on the machines. And as the white flag comes out for Ruben Zaus, looking to put the best of the results out there, looking for a 1-1 on the weekend.
Yeah, perfect weekend for Ruben and the fueling team. They came, correct. They've put in the work. They've got a lot of time in developing this motorcycle, and Ruben's got big plans for this team and kind of growing the whole sport of bagger racing and trying to take it internationally. And, they've got a great head start here with this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Even getting to go over the pits and talk to Ruben earlier this weekend, he's a hands-on guy. He was on the ground. He was spinning wrenches, and it goes to show, you can be feeling one thing on the motorcycle and need to get it fixed, but if you can't communicate that properly with your team, they're not going to be able to do anything about it. So it's just as much on the rider to be able to explain and try to diagnose exactly what they're feeling, and then trust in your team to be able to make the proper adjustments.
Yeah, communication is key within a team. The rider has to be able to communicate what he's feeling and what he's not feeling to the team. The team has to know what he's talking about, and I think that they've got a really good team over there. They're obviously working well together, and the results are showing.
Absolutely. As Ruben Zaus gets ready to make his way into turn 13 for the final time, and as he exits, he's going to be looking for a checkered flag and a 1-1 on the weekend. So there it is, your Andrews Performance Products Bagger GP winner going to be Ruben Zaus with a 1-1 on the weekend. Not only looking for that number 1 trophy, but looking for that gold belt as well.
Yeah, they should be really proud. Ruben has put in a couple of good rides. The team has done their homework and going home with a 1-1 perfect weekend.
Can't do it much better than that. We wait to see exactly how the rest of the podium is going to shake out. It looks like there's Sam Guerin pulling up alongside of him, and a huge congrats to Sam and his entire team as well, getting things figured out overnight. They couldn't even make it to turn 3 yesterday. They clearly put in a lot of work. They've got stuff figured out, and they were rolling out here today.
Yeah, they put in the work, and it paid off. It's great to see them finish second place and a strong run at that.
And we'll wait to see. We believe it was Jesse Janis going to round out the podium for the Bagger GP class. Like we said, after a tough start, wasn't even sure if he was going to make the race, and was able to get back out there and start slicing and dicing his way through the pack. So a great performance for him and that entire team. Let's see how things shake out. So there you see Jesse Janis having to be pushed off the side of the track. Wasn't sure whether we were going to see him out there at all. And pay attention to the back of the grid. See exactly what happened. It looked like Tony Salima ran into some issues.
Yeah, I don't know if he missed a shift or somebody came up. Oh, they got together. Man, that was a hard contact there. Looks like it jarred the fairing loose of the 951 of Tony Salima. So tough start there for Tony.
Yeah, and we hadn't mentioned Tony the rest of the race, so not sure exactly whether he was able to race at full potential after that. And like we said before, something that simple could throw off your entire race.
Yeah, definitely. And if that knocked that fairing loose, if it was, he may have had to just pull off just for safety reasons. Looks like he was pretty far back there into turn 2.
And so Sam Guerin says, hey, I might not have been in the fight yesterday, but I want to show you what you were missing out on. As he gave Ruben Zaus everything he had, especially in those first couple of laps, keeping it close, taking notes from the Spaniard, trying to pick up some tips. And like we said, got to give props to the whole team there. He was able to stay in the fight and hang on to that second place spot in the Bagger GP class. And we were able to see on our timing and scoring, slowly but surely, Jesse Janik was able to get back out there and start making his way towards the front end of the field. I believe he finished 4th on grid, but actually 3rd in that Pro Stock, or in that Bagger GP class, with Cody Gilmore getting up in the mix, finishing in the 3rd place spot and winning that Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. And we'll give you guys a look at exactly how they came across the line here in just a second. But that was pretty much all she wrote. The 111 machine doing exactly what he needed to do. You can see getting some words of encouragement from his team there. And with a ride like that, what are they putting on there? Keep it up?
Yeah, I mean,
what more can you say?
Great job.
Yeah.
I mean, what more can you say?
Doing well.
You know, he did everything right. He rode a perfect race, executed perfectly, and bringing home a 1-1 finish.
So there we can see Janik back out and running. And looks like once they did get him out on track, he seemed to be rolling well. We saw, I believe that was Arnie Wells just behind him, who also was putting in some solid times after being a little bit disappointed with his performance yesterday. So great to see Arnie on the bounce back, and Cody Gilmore doing exactly what he needed to do, grabbing a win out of that Pro Stock Bagger class. There it is. The checker flag comes down, and the 111 of Ruben Zaus going to grab the win and sweep the first 2 rounds in the Bagger GP class. To give you a look at the results as they came across the line, you can see Ruben, only guy I've seen where he comes across the line, he's grabbing the win, and he still looks frustrated. Looks like he's trying to explain something to his team.
Yeah, Ruben's, the ultimate professional. He's always looking to improve, even after a 1-1 finish.
So Ruben Zaus going to grab the win with Sam Guerin finishing 2nd. Cody Gilmore going to cross the line in 3rd, grabbing the win out of the Pro Stock Bagger class, with Jesse Janik, Arnie Wells, Jake Masters rounding out your top 6. You can see the rest of the field there.